This week's job that's dragged into the weekend is making some curved box sections. So fiddly. And we've got two that we've done in steel. Let's put the other one there. And these are the curved bits are just laser cut to shape, and then obviously just flat strips curved around and tacked in place. And these have been done in kind of two halves. This corner and the opposite one over there were done first. So an outer curve and a flat side tacked together on the inside with a MIG. Can you see that in there? Yeah, see the little spots all the way around the curve, and corresponding ones on the other side which you can't see because it curves away from you. So that was that piece and that piece put together first, and then those two pieces placed together and TIG welded along there. And the idea was that we'd just fuse it together. We didn't quite work out. I've ended up putting a bit of filler in it. Kind of slightly surprisingly, it's not far out of square. I would have expected the tacks in this corner to have pulled these sides in, but I think what happens is the curve stops it doing that, and that's actually not too bad. Not too bad at all. There's a little bit in there, but that's not too bad at all. And the little bit that it is out, I don't know if the customer will be bothered. Let's check the other end. Now this one strangely looks like it's pulled. No, that's not bad. This one we've put some extra pieces on the inside. We've just spot welded these in, which looks really scruffy, and I'm not quite sure how good the spots are, because we've got a packing piece between the angle and the box just to make it a little bit smaller. No, that's not too bad either. Yeah, those pieces in the end are so that a standard box will go on. Like so. That's quite snug. So we've got to put these pieces into the end of this one. We'll do that later. First off, we've got an aluminium one. Oh, and this is slightly different. Because I've got the piece here that it's got to be welded to, well, it's welded to, the steel piece has got to be slopped together. But the aluminium ones, it's all part of the same job. it's all going to be welded together anyway, so I thought it might make life easier if I actually tacked the ends to the box section, which is a funny box section. So we'll look at the section here. It's not really dead straightforward. So we've got a lip on this side, and this side is thinner. And we're replicating that with our fabricated curved section. Look at that. I've used these bits of packing. To get the height right, get the step right. This has just been tacked on with a TIG. Not the neatest, but some little spots, and it's holding it in place. And now the idea is we're just going to turn this around and spot it on the inside with a MIG, aluminium MIG, which is when it works it's great, but it's so prone to clogging up and bird's nesting in the wire feed. But I think it's our best option, so that's the plan with this. And I might have to clamp this in certain places as we're pulling it round. On the steel ones, I just bent these flat pieces over my knee to get it roughly into shape, and I started in the middle when I was tacking it together, and yeah, we just tack it in the middle and then bend it one way or another and get another tack in, another tack, and so on and so forth. Actually this is the second side, but that one. And you're just pulling it in and out so that it all lines up, and do it tack by tack until you get there. And this is similar, but we're starting at the end. So a little bit of stickiness in the feed, and I've got the pressure on the feed rollers in the machine set really low, so that rather than bird's nest up in the machine, it just slips on the feed. And I hope that's what just happened there. It's not working. Maybe I need a bit more pressure on the rollers. Should be okay. Nice sooty welds, well not so very nice and sooty, but the soot will brush off. First stage. I got this little brush at Classic Car Fair show a little while ago, one of the tool sellers, pack of 3, little brass brush, just the job for doing this. That's a bit more respectable, I think. Yeah, that's okay. Nobody's going to see the inside anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Now I don't know if this is worse because it's alley. This is kind of what you'd expect it to happen. Weld on the inside has pulled the pieces together, so we haven't got 90 degrees anymore with, I don't know, 86 or something, whatever. Strangely not too bad there. It seems as if the further you come round the bend, the less of a problem it is. And back to the, yeah, in the middle of the bend's pretty good. Towards the end it's pulled in. I think we can live with that. So the next step is to put the other side of the box on. That's got to go there. And unfortunately we're going to have to put our tacks on this side. And the customer, I don't know what they're going to do, whether they'll have to trim the board or whatever it is that fits on to here and fits in this recess. It would be nice if we could have welded it on the inside, but there is no way we can get the tool chin at the right sort of angle to be able to get a weld in there, so forget that idea, we've got to do it. We've got to do it there. But that's got that fixed in the position. I've got another box section there and some packing to get this level. Well, that's the beginnings. What we need to do now is carry on. I'll use that as my check to see that it's in the right place. Let's go for it. I'm going to use TIG welder to put them inside of this on, and first step, oops, first step will be to put a curve in this, and I think we'll make it we'll make it a tighter radius so that we start off and then we'll be pushing it in. Yeah, pushing it into the shape of the curve as we go along with tacking. And I'll start again at this end, but let's get this thing shaped first. Well, I've just bent this over the end of the table. Would have been nice to have rolled it properly, but for one or two pieces off, it's just not worth setting a machine up to do that. But however you do it, you always get a straight bit at the end. So I don't know what end I want to start with, but I'm going to just chop a piece off here so that we start from a curve, because see that? Yeah, we've got a flat piece just here. So if we take, I don't know, 50mm off of that, we'll start with a curve straight away. So yeah, let's do that. Well, here's the first bit welded on. I managed to put a hole in here, which is kind of annoying, but got it filled in okay. And curve is not too bad. It's a pretty reasonable fit. Starts coming away up here, but we'll be able to just pull that in. Well, that's the plan anyway. And the only other thing we've got to worry about is this step here. So what I'll be doing is just got a little blade here, which is an old hacksaw blade, with the end smoothed out, and you just poke that in there and just lift that up while you put a clamp across here and gradually work around and round. And I will probably do a bit on this side, turn it over, a bit on this side. Actually, this is not bad, so I will probably put a few tacks on here. Yeah, tack this up on this side, and then turn it over and try and pull the other side out, start tacking. So there we go. So I just got this clamped up. I'll just put a little tack there, another one there, and then we'll just gradually move the clamp along. I'll get so far and then I will flip it over and start tacking the other side when I get it lined up. Just using a toolmaker's clamp here. Quite like them because they're fairly easy to put on and off. You can do it one-handed. And that's pretty good, that's pretty level. Take that out of the way. Tack there, and move on to the next one. Well, that's tacked up both sides now. We've got a little bit of soot just there from a touchdown, but yeah, okay. And pretty level all the way along, I think. So look at the other side. So I think what I'll do now is actually weld this all the way along here. and then on one side we're going to grind it smooth. Oh, this side I think. And I'm not sure if these parts are handed, whether there's an inside and an outside, but just in case there is, this can be the outside, and yeah, we'll weld this all the way along and then we'll grind it all flat. And then cut the ends off and we'll be ready to weld it to the rest of the contraption. Well, there's our welds, our joins, seams, continuously welded all the way along now. Looks a lot nicer for being done like that. Was probably strong enough anyway, because I don't think there's a lot of load on these things, but that's that. Welded across the join where it's fixed the extrusion. Extrusions are old and filthy and horrible, which makes the welding a little bit more untidy, but that's okay. It's going to be up to the job. And same on this side. Welded all the way along, and we'll leave that to cool down now, and then we'll grind it down where we want it a bit smoother. Cut the ends off and start tacking it together into the rest of the frame. Well, this is the completed frame. Well, not quite complete. A couple of bits of welding still left to do, which incorporates our curved box sections. I've got one corner here which I've just got clamped together at the moment, and I've got to weld that, and they've made life slightly awkward by having odd sections. This piece along here is actually slimmer than the rest of it, so we've got a kind of clumsy looking join here, but they were trying to put something together with materials they already had. And this is painted as well, which is darned annoying, and although I've cleaned the paint off on the outside, it was quite difficult to clean it off on the inside, so a bit of smoke coming out when we were doing this weld in the corner. But as I say, it's nearly there. Just done this corner here. Just come up the outside, and here's our box that we made earlier. This is going to be kind of inside. The other side I've sanded this off. I don't know whether they need this doing, but I'm going to leave it for now. So that's that. This is basically just tacked on the corners in one spot there. So we'll finish that off once we do the other corner. So I've got to pick this up and turn it round so that we can do that. Bring that corner top right back onto the table. So we'll do that, and then go around these joins, this one as well. Okay, that's done. Of course it's done. We did that before we put it together. So yeah, this is kind of what we need to do around here. But yeah, we'll do that once the other corner is welded, and then it will be done. Yay!